Good evening and welcome back to Unraveled Beer Thoughts. Sorry for the lighting. Back in my bedroom, everyone else is doing their own thing, so I figured why not taste a beer? Might as well. So, what I have tonight is Ommegang. How do I pronounce this bottom part? Chardonnale. Ommegang Chardonnale. So, I've had, a reasonable number of beers from Ommegang. This one's fermented with grape juice and matured on oak chips. Limited release. So, I've had this before. It's not new to me, but I don't think I've done a tasting on the channel, so I figured I would go ahead and knock this one out. I am going to try and get roughly one tasting a day here for the next week. Just to see how that goes. I've got 5 or 6 beers I've never had that I was able to pick up today, and I will see how they go. I probably won't get to all of them this week, but I'm going to make a good effort for each one. I think they're a mix. They're not all heavy ales, which is usually what I go for, but kind of a mix in there. Most of them tend toward winter warmer or stout, something of that nature. But tonight I have a fairly light one. I think it's fairly light. Let's see what the ABV, 8.7. So, light if you're German, maybe? I don't know. Very clear, coppery, slightly less than coppery color. Sort of hints at like a champagne a little bit, although I don't think that's bubbles in there. There are some bubbles in there. There's definitely some effervescence going on, but there's some sediment in there too, which is fine. I don't mind the sediment. I don't know if it's coming from, I doubt it's coming from the oak, but maybe from the yeast and the grapes, maybe a combination of the two could be. So, smells, has a bit of a grape smell to it. Definitely, to me, I feel like it smells a little bit like green grapes. That's sort of the aroma I get. I am not a wine expert, and I would bet that a good wine expert would know exactly how to describe this, but it smells good. It smells clean and refreshing. So definitely a hit of grape, but not like grape juice. It's not that. It's just I get the grape. It's there, but it's not overwhelming. There are a lot of coconut beers that I feel like the coconut hits me in the face like so much, and I just it's a little too much. I like a little coconut flavor, but only a tinge in the beer. I don't like it to be overwhelming. And that's what I would say about the grape in this. It is more than a tinge, but it's not overwhelming. It seems to go well with the beer and the malt. Honestly, it's very dry. Kind of a maybe like a really dry cider, but super dry, and ciders are much more sweet than this. So um, even if you've had like Red's Apple Ale, this is drier than that and not as sweet as that. This is a much smoother, to me, I'd say a pretty well done grape flavor in there. When I had this before, I don't know that I drank it first. I might have drank it after some other things. I honestly can't remember. I remember liking it. Ommegang is a pretty trustworthy brewery, in my opinion. Most of the stuff that I've had from them is good, if not all of it. But I've only probably had 3 or 4 different types of beers from their brewery, and they might brew a good bit more than that. But they're good. And for a limited release, this is a good one. I would pick this up probably if it was we were moving in towards summer and I was looking for something light and refreshing to drink that I wanted to be able to pull out of the fridge and just not have. Maybe I wasn't feeling a stout, but I wasn't really feeling an IPA either. This is a good. This would be a good beer to go to. It just doesn't have a lot of bitterness to it. There's probably there is some hop bitterness I think to it, but not. It's not strong. I feel like the grape kind of pushes through it a little bit, but then it's not overly sweet either. So if you're kind of a dry cider type of person, and you're like so on beers, this might not be a bad one to give it a shot. Ommegang Chardonnale, uh, good tasting this evening. I would recommend this beer. I would consider buying it again for sure. Might be a beer I'd even try to get on tap somewhere if I could find it. I doubt I could find it, but it is tasty, and so uh, cheers to the new year, 2022, and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for joining me today.